As Tesla continues to dominate the EV space, Tesla is always making news headlines. So today, let's get into some major Tesla news that happened in the last 1 week. As a Tesla enthusiast and a proud Model Y owner, I keep track of Tesla news and features. First, on November 11th, Tesla announced they are going to open up the Tesla charging connector to the other manufacturers and calling it North American Charging Standard. Tesla notes on their site, with more than a decade of use and a 20 billion charging miles to its name, Tesla Charging Connector is the most proven in North America, offering AC charging and up to 1 megawatt DC charging in one slim package. It has no moving parts, is half the size and twice as powerful as the combined charging system connectors. I really believe this is a great news for future Tesla owners, regardless whether you drive a Tesla or a non-Tesla. Tesla opening up the Tesla connector for other manufacturers to use this smaller connector as the charging connector standard. In comparison, right now, other companies like Ford, GM, Volkswagen, etc., they use this bulky connector which is much slower. So other makers starting to adopt this new smaller connector, it would help the EV owners in the future, regardless of the brand. That means a lot of the public charging network can start to adopt this new connector, which will allow all the users of EVs to charge using the same connector without having to worry about all the different adapters that you have to carry. So let's say someone like Ford or any other EV makers, let's say Rivian, Polestar, whatever other brand out there decides to adapt to this new connector, they can potentially partner up with Tesla for their cars to potentially use the Tesla superchargers. Plus, there are a growing number of public chargers like charge points and other chargers that are coming up. If they start to adapt to this new charger, I think this is great. This is going to allow a lot of future EV owners to charge almost anywhere without having to carry a charger. So by standardizing this Tesla connector, it basically allows people to be able to drive to anywhere within North America, not having to worry about adapters or am I going to find different chargers. So for example, as a non-Tesla owner, you cannot go to a Tesla supercharger and connect your car, even if Tesla allowed you to, because you just don't have the right connectors. So in the event other manufacturers start to adopt this as the new standard, so that means Electrify America and other charging networks will start to switch their charger connectors, and which will allow everyone to use the same connector regardless of the brand of EV that you are driving. So I personally think this is no different than using a USB charger. For my MacBook, iPad, and everything else that I use, I can basically use the USB charger as the one charger for everything, all the devices I have, exception to my iPhone, which I really hope they will change at some point soon. Next, Tesla was making headline news again that for recalling 40,000 Tesla Model S and Model X. So my best friend sent me a screenshot of the 40,000 Tesla vehicle recall and asked if I was impacted by that. I then had to explain to him that the term recall is outdated. It's probably time to redefine what that term means. Because most of us associate recall with when a manufacturer has to recall a product, meaning you have to bring the product back to the manufacturer, either get it replaced or fixed, or some features or some parts needs to be updated. So I had to explain to my friend that it's a software defect with the steering wheel for those 40,000 vehicles. None of these 40,000 vehicle owners has to bring their car back to the Tesla service center to get anything fixed. It would basically be over-the-air software updates. They just have to connect, just like how you would receive a software update for your iPhone. We don't bring our Apple iPhone back to the Apple stores to get it fixed. No, it just basically anytime Apple finds a defect within their iOS, they send out over-the-air update and get that fixed. And Tesla is doing basically the same exact thing. None of these cars has to go back to the Tesla service centers. So I really think that someone needs to redefine or reinvent the definition of recall when things can be fixed via software updates. In another Tesla news, Elon sold almost 20 million Tesla stocks for $3.95 billion. And the Tesla stock definitely took a hit because of that. When you have that much amount of stocks being sold in the market, obviously that takes a hit. The amount of supply goes up more than the demand. I'm sure it frustrated a lot of Tesla retail investors, including myself. Tesla is my largest position, so obviously it impacted my portfolio as well. So at the Twitter meeting last week, Elon mentioned to the Twitter employees that he sold $4 billion of Tesla stocks just to save Twitter. Obviously, Twitter is having some issues since Elon bought Twitter. A lot of advertisers stopped advertising on the Twitter platform. That means their incoming cash has slowed down. So basically, he sold that stock to have enough liquidity for Twitter in the event if we go into recession next year. But the adverse effect of having that $4 billion on the Twitter balance sheet, this basically drove the Tesla stock down almost 10% over the 3 days that Elon was selling his 20 billion shares. It is probably very frustrating for retail Tesla investors. However, you have to understand Elon is just like us, so he doesn't have a gigantic $4 billion emergency fund sitting somewhere. In order to create that emergency fund for Twitter, he had to sell the Tesla stock to make that funding available for Twitter in the event they need it. Xoom became extremely popular during the 2020 pandemic lockdown. Now fast forward to 2022 or almost 2023, Xoom has partnered with Tesla to bring the Xoom app natively to the Tesla cars. So you'll be able to answer or join a Xoom call while you're in the car using the Tesla's built-in car speaker system as well as the camera in the cabin. Tesla already has a number of native entertainment apps built into their car. Under the Tesla Theater, you have natively integrated streaming apps like the Netflix, Hulu directly built into the Tesla vehicles. I'm pretty sure you're probably thinking, can you answer a Xoom call or join a Xoom video call while you are driving? And the answer is no. So currently Tesla only allows YouTube and all those entertainments while you're parked only, whether you're charging or parked somewhere. And once you start driving, all these things start to turn off by itself automatically. So more than likely, I'm 100% sure that you'll not be able to attend a Xoom call while you're driving. That would be a huge safety concern. However, I think this is a welcome feature for those folks that use the Xoom video conferencing call to conference or meet up with their customers, family, and friends. So last week, I posted a video about all the new features Tesla is bringing to the 2023 Model Y. However, this week, we found out Tesla is going to have a brand new version of the Model Y starting from 2023. Tesla recently got EPA approval for this new all-wheel drive version of the Model Y, along with the existing long-range Model Y and the performance Model Y. So this new version will be just called Model Y all-wheel drive or Model Y AWD. Tesla recently had the same exact or similar car available to employees and for a small number of customers back in early 2022. However, this new version of the Model Y has eventually disappeared, probably due to the constraint on the 4680 battery cells. Since it's going to be all-wheel drive version of the Model Y, it's probably going to have a near identical dual motor powertrain as the long-range version of the Model Y, except it will have a smaller battery pack. More than likely, this new version will be made in Texas using the 4680 battery cells. So this brand new version of the Model Y will get a total of 279 miles of range when charged to 100%. As for the pricing, Tesla has not revealed any pricing. However, since it was in the market or sold to employees for a short period of time in early 2020, it was sold or at least priced at $59,990 back then. So more than likely, it would probably priced 11 to 13% less than current Model Y long-range version. So $60,000 may seem high when you can pay another $6,000 or $8,000 and get a long-range version of the Model Y. But if you have to keep in mind, as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, there is going to be $7,500 tax credit for EV buyers. So this new vehicle completely qualify with 100% of the $7,500 credit. So even if you have to pay $60,000 for this new version, more than likely, let's say you get about $7,500 credit, you'll end up paying for this vehicle about $52,500 to $500. So I really believe in 2023, this all new brand new version of the Model Y will become extremely popular, given that it is priced at $60,000 and it will qualify for the full $7,500 credit that will be given as part of the Inflation Reduction Act. So why do we even need this new version of the Model Y? Well, not everyone needs or want a long-range version of the Model Y because some folks just commute to work or they don't need a long range. They don't go make a long commute. So why pay for this extra huge battery when you don't need it? Tesla is now making it available for those folks that don't really need a long-range version and they can actually pay a cheaper price and get $7,500 tax credit on top of that. So that was all the major Tesla news that happened within the last 1 week. And if you're still watching, please consider subscribing and smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.